Security issues are exploding because AI is pumping out slop code, especially for non-developers who are just vibe coding entire apps in minutes. In OpenClaw, the #1 most downloaded skill right now is straight up malware. And these vulnerabilities, they don't just come from AI generated code, they also sneaked in by external packages, plugins, templates, and the fact that vibe coders rarely maintain anything or follow real dev practices. According to Vercel, which is a security software company, AI generated code introduced risky security flaws in 45% of tests. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to run security scans and fix these issues so you don't get hacked. Welcome to Made by Agents. My name is Tobias, and let's get started with step 1 of vibe coding an app. And what I mean by vibe coding is just prompting without checking the code and without even understanding the code. For that, I'm using Claude Code within Claude Desktop. So when you have Claude Desktop installed, then you switch to this code tab, and that means you are using Claude Code. You're trying to avoid the terminal. I'm just assuming I'm a non-technical person, and I'm gonna create a beginner-friendly prompt without too many technical details or anything like that. And let's assume I don't know anything about the technology. I just want to build an app with AI, vibe code it, and then later on we will see how secure this actually is. Okay, so I'm in my development folder, and I'm gonna pick the best available model here, Opus 4.6 at this moment. And then let's switch also to plan mode. Build a personal finance tracker with AI insights. It should be a web app, and it should have the following features. I want a login sign up functionality. I want to be able to add transactions. I want to be able to upload receipts. Then there should be an AI spending summary, and also I want to be able to share the dashboard, and then add an admin page with some stats, and also I want to be able to export everything to a CSV file. Yeah, keep the app and data storage and everything simple. I want an easy and quick solution. And that's pretty much it. Let's send it over. It came back with a plan, didn't even ask me any more questions. It wants to create a new folder, finance tracker, simple and quick, no complex DB setup, so database setup, a simple database SQLite and Next.js and whatever, next off, and what it wants to use. Then it lists the dependencies, the database schema with 2 tables, and the project structure, implementation phases, and verification, and so on. Okay, let's approve Claude's plan and start coding. And I'm gonna set this here to auto accept edits so that I don't have to click around too much, but still asking me for permissions. And I'm gonna allow this. Again, if you're not a developer, you're probably not understanding what's even going on here with these commands, what this is doing on your machine. So it now completed the finance tracker, and it gives us instructions how to run this, cd into this, and then pnpm dev, and we need to set our API key for the AI features. Start up the app for me.
Work complete.
So app is running at localhost 3000. You can open this in your browser now. Let's click on this, open the link. Don't have an account, sign up. Let's see. Enter my name, an email address, and a password. Let's say admin123. Now I'm at the login page. Let's see if it works. Admin 1, 2, 3. And we're in, yeah. It's ugly, but I said make it simple, so it's okay. So here I can share the dashboard, and then it's generating this share link. Then when I click on export, it exports CSV, and then I can add the transaction. That's not really visible. It's not about making this perfect now. It's working, and then okay, this is income, and then here we have AI insights. It would generate some insights. Let's set up this AI insight stuff quickly. I want to use Open Router, and I go to openrouter.ai. This basically allows you to use hundreds of different AI models with just one single API key, and it's routing to the best and fastest provider. Let's use DeepSeek v3.2 here, and I'm just copying this model definition here. It's pretty cheap, so we're not burning too much here in this trial. Set up open router with this model here. Just give it my API key. So we need an API key for that. When you log in, you go to, I don't know, to settings and then API keys, and then you create a new API key, call it whatever, finance tracker. Here you can give a credit limit if you want. So when you charge your account with, let's say, $100, but you just want to limit what this API key can spend, then you can set this here, and expiration and so on. And then we copy this API key here and send it over. It should set up Open Router for us with the DeepSeek model, and this is our API key, so let's wait a bit.
Work complete.
So it's already finished. It switched and so on, and dev server will auto reload. Go into our finance tracker, to the AI insights, and we click on generate AI insights. It's doing something, and it's giving us the text. All right, so it seems to work because it's referencing the numbers that I typed in previously. And when I'm now in Open Router and I refresh, I see that it used a fraction of a cent to generate this. Now I want to publish this on the World Wide Web, on the open internet, so that I can access this app from everywhere and from my phone. So I heard that Vercel is pretty cool to host stuff. Great, now deploy that app on Vercel for me. And now it should do it for you and give you instructions how to do it.
Work complete.
Deployed successfully, your app is live, and all the variables are configured. Now I guess I need to make a new account again, and we are inside of it, and it works. All right, now we are at step 3, running some AI scans over this and see how secure this code base actually is. There are a range of different tools that you can use, and also custom prompts and so on. And I'm gonna go through a few of these options now. And one software company I found that's pretty popular is called Snike. They basically scan your code base on vulnerabilities, and they have a massive database of already known vulnerabilities, and they also scan your dependencies and packages and so on, stuff that Claude doesn't have integrated. And they have a free plan here, so you can try it for free and sign up. And then once you signed up, you can log in. I, for example, signed up with my GitHub account, and then we need to find a way to import this project. So when we click on add project, we have the option GitHub or CLI. And let's select GitHub, but for that we need to have the code on GitHub already. So we go back to Claude Code and we just tell it, push this code to my GitHub, create a new repository. If you don't have a GitHub account yet, you need to just create one, and then it's using the CLI to authenticate and to push it to GitHub. And what we see here already, I didn't specify this, but it's setting this to public. So the code will be public now.
Work complete.
So it's done, and now it's live on GitHub. And this is public. That's the first thing. But it didn't push the secrets, luckily, and API keys. Okay, now we go back into this console and we search for this name here, Finance Tracker. And here it found the repository, and then now we can add the selected repository. And it's importing it, and then I think it's already starting to scan it. And this can take a while. In the meantime, we can set up another AI security software. And another popular example is SamGrep. It's open source, and it has kind of a rule-based static analysis that catches custom patterns and also runs in the CI. But let's also try this here and create an account. And then once we created our account, we are in this dashboard here, and under projects, we can scan a new project. Here we have different options where we want to scan. Let's select the first one, SamGrep managed scans. And now it's listing all our available repositories. So you also have to connect to GitHub in a very similar way. And now let's select our finance tracker and click on enable managed scans, and then click on view scanning projects. This is now also running. This is also scanning pull requests automatically if you're familiar with that, and if you make updates to your project on GitHub, it's periodically automatically scanning it for some security leaks. This is now also in progress here. And another way to harden your app is to use a custom prompt. The easiest thing you can say is just make it production ready, for example, and just simply by adding this prompt, it will at least harden a few things for you and make your app a bit more secure. But there are also skills you can install and pre-installed prompts and plugins for Claude Code to perform a security review. Claude has, for example, a built-in prompt or command when you type slash and then security review. You see it here. This instructs Claude to complete a security review of the pending changes on the current branch. But you can probably also say, hey, scan this entire app for any security flaws, and then it will work on this and harden it. Otherwise, you can also install some plugins, for example, CodeRabbit. And once you have this installed, you can say here CodeRabbit review, and then it's running this tool to review your code base. Let's just run the security review, perform a review of the entire code base and check for security flaws. So I keep it in plan mode, so that's not changing the code base right now. I just want to see if it finds something. It looks like it's doing nothing. It's doing something. So SamGrep completed and it found nothing. So app seems to be clean. In Snike, it also found nothing. And it seems like it's only scanning the packages. And because we just created this app, it used all the newest package versions. But after a while, it will find issues because these packages are getting outdated, and you are usually not updating it, or in Claude it's not updating them automatically unless you tell it to do so. That's the thing that most developers are also not doing. In my other project, it found a few things because I just didn't update the dependencies. Okay, now let's see what Claude found. So it tells me the app needs hardening before real use. And issue 1 is that API key is exposed, and but not, it's only on Vercel. Then it found some critical stuff. Fix 1 admin privilege escalation at sign up. Anyone who signs up first with the admin email gets admin, and it suggests to remove the auto admin and sign up. Then it found some other high issues in the receipts endpoint, file upload, spoofing, and so on. It exposes password hash. And yeah, it's coming up with a plan already to fix this. So the easiest thing is to then just say, hey, approve, and just do it and harden it for me. And this way you are a bit better off. Okay, let's continue with step 4 now, running some hacking agents. That's another way to test your app and to basically simulate someone hacking your app. And one tool I found is called Strix or Strikes. It's open source here in this GitHub repo. And when you scroll down, you see the install instructions. So you need to have Docker installed and running for this. Docker is an app that allows you to run containerized applications, and for that you just search for Docker desktop and download it from the official Docker website here. And here you can download this for your machine and then go through the installation. Then you should have it running, and then you need to open up your terminal or tell Claude to do it for you. What you basically have to do is run the installation command, which is this one here, a curl command, and then it will install it for you. I already did that. And then you need to set the LLM that you want to use. So you need an API key again for this, and an AI model, because it's running AI agents that try to hack your app. They tell you here how to do this. So with this export command, and then here you enter the model you want to use, and then another export command with your API key. So let's do that, and let's use DeepSeek for this again. So when I copy their command, I need to change this to open router and then add this model name from open router. So here, this one, and then we press enter, and then we need to add our API key here and create a new one. Finance tracker, Strix, copy this and paste it in here and press enter. And now we can say Strix target and then the URL where our app is running. So it's running here on our Vercel instance. And in addition, we could also run this on our local code base if we want. Here we can also specify the app directory if we want. But let's just run this website, press enter, and now it's doing its thing. And then when it's finished, it should create a report in our user folder under strikes runs. And these AI hacking agents, they have access to different tools. When you look in their documentation, you can see they have browser access and terminal access, of course, and some sandbox tools, for example, Nuclei, which I want to go over next. And it's launching a root agent, and this root agent will then also launch some sub agents that have different tasks, and they try to find leaks in your application. And then here in the lower right, you see the model that's running, the tokens, and how much you already spent on this analysis. Now you see it's coming up with some to-do items like exploring the login page and test for SQL injection. So while this is running, this can take a while, I want to show you another tool. So what is Nuclei? What makes it special? It's a fast, customizable scanner powered by community YAML templates. So they have a huge database of templates that you can run with the scanner, and it scans for all different kind of stuff. And it's also open source, so you can run this for free. And to set this up, you also need to go into your terminal app, and let's create a new tab here, and then you can install it in different ways. They show it here depending on what you already have installed on your machine. When you're on Mac, for example, you can install the Brew package manager and then just run this command here. So brew install Nuclei, then it installs this for you, and then you should run Nuclei update templates, and this way it is downloading all the available templates from the community, which are in the thousands. I don't know, 4,000s. Yeah, it tells me my current templates are on version 10, 10.3.9, and there's a newer version. So it should update this now for me. It updated the templates, and now to make a scan, I type nuclei -u and then the URL where our app is running. So the same thing here. And now it's running all the templates against our website. Our nuclei scan completed, and it found 18 issues here. For example, missing security headers. What we can do now is just copy this output and then go over to Claude Code and just tell it, I ran a nuclei scan, here are the issues, help me fix it. And then we paste this in here, and it will help you fix most of these issues. That's pretty much it. Let's see how Strikes is doing. It's still running and spawning a new agent that's trying to find other vulnerabilities. So the main issue is basically, maybe they can find it. That's something I would like to see, is that basically everyone can just sign up here and then use our AI API key and consume our open router credits. So for a personal finance tracker, I actually don't want a public sign up page that anyone can sign up. I just want to have a login page and set these credentials in the database beforehand, so that I can then only I can sign in and use this app, but this is just one of the issues this app has right now. So Strikes is still running, and we can see it's now spawning an authentication testing agent that performs authentication testing, focusing on SQL injection, login, JWT, token analysis, session management, broken authentication, business logic flaws, and so on. We see it used 43 cents, and we click here on activity. We can see more details that it burned 1.7 million tokens so far, and all the requests it made. And we can keep track of this here. So Strikes is still running. It spawned another agent now that's performing a manual authentication tests and trying to get in and to bypass the Vercel security checkpoint. Yeah, one of the downsides is that when you stop it, you basically lose all of the progress. It seems like it's creating this report only at the end when it finished, and you also don't know like how much it will spend on tokens for everything, and how long it will actually take in the end. So you can only set limits to limit your spanning. So I just found out that it also has a headless mode. So when you run this command here with this -n flag, this way the CLI prints real-time vulnerability findings and the final report before exiting. So that's actually the one that I would run next time. And then the best is to also test your source code, not only the deployed app. So multi-targets with this -t flag, and this way you can chain several targets together, and it scans not only your app but also your code base, and you can even enter the GitHub link if it's public, I guess, your repo, and then it's scanning the code that you have in your repo. So the agent's now completed, and it prints this report in the console, but also in your user folder as a markdown file. And when I open this up here, the overall risk posture is low. So the application demonstrates a strong security baseline with multiple layers of protection, including Vercel security checkpoint AF and next auth with proper CSRF implementation and secure cookie configurations. So it couldn't find critical or high severity vulnerabilities, key outcomes, and then what it tested. So all the different tests it performed, technical analysis, and then it comes up with some recommendations. Immediate priority, session fixation, mitigation enhancement, while this token provides mitigation. Next auth can be configured to rotate session tokens. And it's also pointing out the security headers configuration as Nuclei did. Then adding, for example, multi-factor authentication, enhanced logging and monitoring, authentication flow hardening. That's it. So what we can do is also go one by one, for example, and copy this out, and then copy it back into Claude code and tell it to fix it. But yeah, in total we spent $3.05 on this security analysis, 17 million tokens. Yeah. And with DeepSeek, if you run this in Opus, you spend way more. Just one thing that none of these AI tools found, is the bare fact that anyone can sign up and generate these AI insights. But that's it. That's probably the only major flaw right now in this app. So to sum this up, Vibe coding is quite powerful. You can spin up things very quickly, but never ship stuff without running a few reviews and security scans at least. Depending on the complexity of your app and the features, you should maybe not publish this at all on the World Wide Web, or consult with an experienced developer, security expert. So the key lessons are always use scans and use layered tools, different type of tools like the one I showed you with static and dynamic analysis and tools that run AI agents. And then most of the time you can use that input, put it back into your chat and let the AI fix the stuff that's broken. Yeah, try it yourself. All the links are below in the description. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.